Great. So I suggest we start as it's just about 2 minutes after 11 where I'm based and again, thank you very much for joining me today. Today's topic is the future of field service mobile with a subtitle, A Serious Approach to Field Processes. So what we're going to talk about today, apparently it's going to involve a lot of topics and a lot of ideas and thoughts and plans with the field service mobile solution or the mobile application. Few facts about myself so you know who I am. My name is Stano. I've been with Resco for over 11 years actually, so pretty long time. I'm based in our North American offices in the greater Boston area where I manage our day-to-day operations of the American office. And I'm also talking a lot about mobility, mobile solutions, mobile technologies to a lot of partners, customers on a daily basis, hence the title, The Evangelist. If you'll have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. My email address is super simple. It's my first name, Ivan or Ivan @resco.net. And if we haven't connected on LinkedIn yet, please send me an invite. I'd be more than happy to connect and stay in touch on the business social network as well. So that's about me. As a first start, I would really like to know you a little bit better so that we have a perfect understanding who you are. And I prepared a very short poll that I would like to launch right now. And if you don't mind, just clicking one of the answers. If it's not there, I apologize, but I was expecting that these should be the most frequent, most popular answers. You could be either customer, you can be a prospect considering adopting a field service solution, you could be a partner or a general technology provider. In the meantime, I'll let it run for maybe 20, 30 more seconds. In the meantime, so what we're going to cover today at today's webinar, just briefly, I'm going to talk about our relationship with Microsoft, how that looks like, what we're providing with Microsoft. We're going to talk a little bit more about the recent news and the new application that Microsoft released for field service. Then I'll talk more about what's our offering as Resco, how it all comes together. And I prepared hopefully a really nice demo to help me show you what we can bring, what's the extra functionality, how we can really extract the best of field service when you're consuming the solution on a mobile device. So that's the plan. And thank you for the answers. I think this looks great. So I'll just close the poll now and I'll share the results with you. So hopefully you can see it. Majority of you are a field service partner. Awesome. Welcome all partners or technology providers, almost 80%. We have 14% of customers and almost 10% of prospects here today. So welcome all. Let me now reshare the screen again. Just a second. False, hide results. And we should be good to share the screen. Again, great. So thanks a lot. So as announced, first thing first, Resco and Microsoft. What's the history? What's the story? What's the relationship? I don't want to bore you too much with historical details, but for those of you who may not be super familiar, Resco is a long-term Microsoft partner. We've been partnering with Microsoft since the very inception of the company, so for over 20 years. And in the last few years, we formed a very close relationship and partnership with Microsoft. We signed a contract where Resco pretty much became an OEM provider of the field service mobile technology. So what Microsoft does, they take over our technology, our code, they build their own rebranded version of the field service mobile application and offer it as part of their Microsoft Dynamics 365 field service product, so that every customer who is using Microsoft Dynamics field service can benefit from the industry leading and probably the most robust and most innovative mobile solution. What this actually means in detail, so what our customers actually getting is a field service mobile application that runs on all types of devices that you can think of. There's a specific customization of the mobile application specifically for the field service purposes. This is a template that Microsoft built and put together, leveraging all their IP, all their experiences, all their knowledge of field service so that it replicates the most common use cases that the field service customers face out in the field. And the last part of the solution is the field service mobile configurator. So a tool that actually allows to further configure the field service mobile application customization or template, or even customize the whole mobile application. So that's what Microsoft is actually leveraging from Resco. If we have partners or customers here who are more familiar with the Resco pieces, this is how these three modules actually relate to the Resco technology. So the first one, the application, you can find the field service mobile app from Microsoft on the app stores, where you can actually find the Resco applications as well. Most of you might be familiar with the Resco mobile CRM app, or a relatively newer one called Resco Inspection. So it's just the same application pretty much that Microsoft has out there, but it's rebranded to feature Microsoft logo, design, splash screen, etc. When it comes to the customization and template, that's in our terminology the application project. Last month, when I ran a webinar about how to customize the mobile solution, I ran a short poll as well. On average, most of our customers have 2 to 3 different application projects that they use. Think of the application project as a specific configuration of the application, so it includes all the entities, all the functionality, all the features for particular user role. So the application customization for field service is just a different application project. And the last piece, the mobile configurator, in Resco's terminology, that's Resco Woodford. Not the drink, not the bourbon, but the actual tool that is fully embedded into Microsoft Dynamics Field Service, or it can be used through Resco Cloud if Dynamics is not your backend system. So pretty much, hopefully this is clear. This is what we're providing Microsoft with so that they can build that strong mobile solution. Just about 2 months ago, in May 2020, Microsoft introduced their own Dynamics 365 field service application that is showcasing the future of field service mobile. It's the application that is built on Power Platform, so it's a Power App application, which comes with a lot of benefits, but obviously there are some consequences that need to be considered for companies who are considering using this application instead of the Resco-based one, or as Ben Vollmer likes to put it, the Xamarin application. So what does this really mean? Does it mean that Resco's based application is gone? There's no support there? Does it mean you should be all switching to the new one, even though it's not on par with the current one? Or should you switch to Resco? We hear these questions ever since May, ever since the release of the new Power App-based application, and we thought it would be a good idea to provide some guidance, and this is the guidance that is coming from us, from Resco, and not from Microsoft. So consider that when you're making a decision. To make things a little bit easier and more clear, you'll find in Microsoft documentation that the Resco-based application, or also called Field Service Mobile App, is the recommended application, and Microsoft actually recommend to continue using the existing Field Service application for current and all new developments of Dynamics 365 Field Service. So if you were a partner, and majority of you are partners, and you invested in building your field service practice, you invested into learning how the Woodford tool works, what's the architecture, what are the features, how you can configure that solution. Good news is this is not going to go away. Microsoft actually going to support that solution for 2 more years. And we actually foresee that it might take even a longer time, especially for scenarios where customers have some serious needs about the field service solution or the mobile solution in general. In practicality, what this also means that partners can now fully leverage Resco as an ISV for its field service. So what was so far provided by Microsoft directly can now be also leveraged from us instead of getting it from Microsoft. The reasons we're asking why should we consider it, we asked that question ourselves as well. What we're providing Microsoft with is a full version of Resco, but it comes with certain limitations. The number one limitation is that its purpose is to really be used for field service scenarios only. If you want to use it for different scenarios, such as sales, for example, or non-field service use cases, you should look for other solutions. The other one, some of you might be aware that it's the field service mobile application, Resco based, is not always on par with the Resco's current version. We have pretty aggressive roadmap. We bring 4 big upgrades every year. It's not easy to keep up with us. There's a lot of new functionality, new features that we're adding into our technology. So if you want to have access to all of those, that would be a good reason to consider Resco. And probably the biggest one, there's a lot more than just a simple mobile app that can show your entities and custom entities and provide some extra functionality. We keep investing into Resco technology, adding new innovative solutions that I'll talk in just a moment, investing into platform, investing into support for new devices, wearable devices, etc. So if you're really planning to utilize the full spectrum of mobility and bring a lot of advantages and benefits for your users and your organizations, it would be a good idea to have a look at Resco. So one more, Paul, and then we'll get into it. I'll prepare the different one, and I'm actually wondering what your main motivation is. I'm wondering when it comes to mobile solutions, if you're just looking for some new options, or if you're already using the Resco-based field service application. Maybe you have already looked into the new Power App-based application and have some questions. I know there are sometimes customers who are using completely different applications, sometimes homegrown, home developed, or maybe you don't use any mobile application as of now. So 10, 15 more seconds, we're getting some results, that's great. Okay, 5 more seconds. We have big majority of people already voted. Awesome, thank you very much. And I'll share the results with you so you know who are the other people here. So big majority, almost 70% of you already use the Resco-based field service application. Thank you very much for your support. Quarter of you are looking for options and just 4% use the Power App-based field service application. Good, thanks a lot. Let me hide the results. Just make sure that I'm still sharing the screen. That looks good. So let me now close this one. Awesome. So what we think the great future will be, there will be definitely a lot of space for the new Power App-based application, especially for lighter scenarios or scenarios that don't require really a solution that can face any circumstances, any challenges, any issues that your workday and your area where you work face. We believe there will be still a huge potential for the Resco-based application, which comes with unparalleled offline capabilities, unparalleled innovation cadence, and support for a lot of new features and functionalities, often market-driven. And for those of you who are interested in really utilizing mobility in its full spectrum, we're presenting a new program, Field Service 2.0, and it's our serious approach to serious field processes. So when you ask what this is or why we're coming with that, this is actually coming mostly from you as a result of a lot of tens and tens and tens of different conversations we had with our partners, but also our customers, trying to understand why they value Resco, what are the most important reasons for them to consider Resco, and same goes for the customers, why they're looking for a solution such as ours and where they would like to see it. So based on all these feedback, we're presenting the Field Service 2.0 program, and this program is built on three main pillars. The first one is technology. After all, Resco is a technology company, a product company. And when I talk to our partners and prospects and customers, they often tell me that for them, Resco looks like a Lego. It's a lot of pieces, a lot of modules, lots of functional blocks, lots of tools that they can use to create their own version of the application and turn that Lego set into something that makes perfect meaning, works really nicely, and works perfectly well. If that's too abstract, let me explain it in a little more detail. So what really is Field Service 2.0 from Resco? This technology is based on the foundation that is created with our native applications that work on every single platform that you can find out there, the most powerful configuration tools, and a lot of functional modules that you can use. The foundation really is what Resco learned about mobility, mobile business, mobile market, the trends, etc., over the 20 years of the company's history. On top of the foundation is the layer of new solutions. One of them is inspections that can be seamlessly integrated into the native application, so into the foundation. And the inspections is a really powerful tool to create powerful inspection forms, data collection forms, checklists, step-by-step guides, etc., that can run on any of the devices as well. The second one is routes. So we understand when we're talking about mobile users, mobility, field service technicians, people who are spending a lot of time out of the office, they are on the move. They move from one location to another, from one customer to another, from site to site. And in order to do that job as efficiently as they can utilize Resco routes in two ways. One is on the mobile devices to really optimize their travel schedule, and the other one is a lot of tools for the backend office as well. And the third layer is the innovations, and this is our commitment to bringing support for all the new technologies, whether that's AI, image recognition, holographic scenes, tech images, voice navigation, etc., or support for new devices, etc., etc. So all these four modules together, that's where we're bringing on the table the Field Service 2.0, really the ability to create powerful, seamless experiences for the mobile users. To be a little bit more concrete on what the outcomes can look like, and I keep mentioning that we support all these different platforms, let me talk about the upper part of the picture here. What's probably the biggest advantage of Resco is that instead of becoming a master of all the different technologies and devices such as wearables, smartwatches, smart glasses, AR, VR headsets, mobile application developers or progressive web app developers, we can blend it all together and we support it through the same platforms, through the same technology and same tool, Resco Woodford. So maybe you can't go into the nitty-gritty details and be able to change the tiniest little pixel in the application, but for the business applications where the use case is the main motivator and driver of the technology and the adoption, that's where Resco really excels. So we're providing first full support for iOS, Android, and Windows devices, smart glasses, AR and VR headsets, and smartwatches and progressive web applications as well. The second pillar is the concepts. So we talked about technology. We believe what it takes to build the most powerful applications and multi-experience applications. Now let's talk about concepts. What are some of the key ideas behind the technology? The first one, and that one we learned very quickly, is the support of device of choice. We work with companies on probably every continent except for Antarctica. And we work with companies who are globally operating firms, small and medium sized businesses, large organizations as well. We work with institutions that have people spread across multiple continents, and every company is a little bit different. Some of them have bring your own device policy. Some of them provision their devices and only support one platform. Some of them decide to choose from Android to iOS or vice versa. And many of them are adopting the new touch-enabled tablets that can be turned into laptops, etc. So if there's one thing that they have in common, it's they rely on the device and they don't want to care about if it works on Windows but doesn't work on iOS, or it works on Android but doesn't work on a smartwatch. They want the technology that works no matter what type of device they choose, and that's really important for us too. So that's why we really try to support all of those devices. Another concept is the continuous experience. We believe that by marrying the context with the use case, we can really provide an unparalleled experience for the mobile user and capture the essence of their work. One of the big issues that we're hearing from customers we talk to is brain drain. A lot of customers have really skilled technicians that know their machines from A to Z, but it's never written anywhere. It's not in the guidebooks, it's not in the manuals. They keep all that information in their heads. So using Resco, we can create these experiences for them so that we capture all that knowledge, all that skills that they have learned over the years, and capture them through the innovative solutions that are possible to create with Resco. A typical workday of a field service technician can look just like this. In the morning, I use my phone or tablet to plan my day. When I get in a truck or pickup truck or my car, I use the navigation. I hook it up with Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. When I arrive at this spot, I can check for hazards using my smartwatch so I can use both my hands. Then I do the regular work. Maybe I collect some data, document some defects, end up with creating a mobile report where I capture a lot of pictures to document everything that I fixed, or maybe some of those defects capture a signature and off I go. If there's a complex repair that requires some more hand-holding or maybe real-time connection with the back office, I can use smart glasses or AR, VR headsets, or just the AR functionality of our phones. The last concept is the mission control, aka the Resco location monitor. And this is part of Resco routes. So we understand that when people are on the go, it's great to provide them with tools that help them to operate smoothly and more efficiently and be more productive when they move from one location to another. But it's also very important for the supervisors, the scheduling managers, and the other roles to have an instant and real-time overview where our teams, where our people are. So Resco Location Monitor adds this functionality and it provides you with great insights and a lot of additional information about where your people are, with the ability to switch to a live view so you can see their location in real time. You can get a great understanding of how much time our people spend driving versus how much time they actually spend at a location. And in situations there's an emergency, you can see on the map who's the closest from there and just send that person right there. And all of this utilizing the power of phones, no need to install any additional hardware, the phones or mobile devices that your people already have on them. The third pillar, commitment, and then I'll move it to the demo. And I don't think it goes without commitment. Resco, for many of our customers means trust. On average, our customers stay with us for 5 to 6 years. And that I think is super impressive. If you think about mobility, mobile industry, how quickly it evolves and how drastic the changes are, I think it's a really really great appreciation of our technology directly from our customers. And here's our commitment to all of you. We started a company in 1999 when devices such as those that we use today nobody has even dreamt about those. Then it moved on to first versions of Pocket PCs, Palm Pilots, Windows Mobile, the ruggedized devices, etc. We supported all of those, and now we have these supercomputers in our pockets that you can do anything and everything on, and we still support them with our technology. So here's our first commitment. Whatever the future brings, we want to make sure that you can rely on us as a partner, as your technology provider, so that when you're ready to innovate, our technology and our solution that you rely on is ready. The second commitment is the asterisk. With Resco, we aspire to create a technology that comes with no asterisks. We don't want your people to have to think about, oh, is my application going to work? Will I be able to access my data when I'm actually on the site, which might be 3 floors underground, or maybe in the middle of ocean, or maybe in the middle of Africa in a refugee camp? These are the questions that we believe your people, your workers shouldn't ask when they do their job. The solution or the application that they have should allow them to work no matter where they are, when they are, so that they can focus on what they're good at, and the technology is their companion that helps them to do those things better. So with that, let's turn it into a demo. And if you'll have questions, please feel free to use the GoToWebinar to share those. And I'll start with the demo of a mobile application. So I hope you can still see my screen. I'm bringing the iPhone application right in the middle. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to act as a field service technician repairing elevators today. So I typically start my day by opening the mobile phone, the mobile application, which is pretty simple. Really, we're not trying to overwhelm myself, so my colleagues are very friendly when they design the application. All I need to do is have access to 4 more major entities there. So to start my day, I always go to the calendar and see where I need to go today. The calendar in the Resco application is very unique. It can combine my personal appointments with my business appointments as well. And I can see these on the map. So if I go to the agenda view, I see I have to go to 3 different locations today, do some safety control and regular checkups. That doesn't look too bad. I think I can manage that all in one day. So I'm now ready to hit the road. So I go to my route, open my route, and this is a unique functionality which is part of Resco Routes. It combines the map view where I can see my location with the little colorful pins on the map. These little pins actually represent my work orders. I have a little filter at the top of the screen where I can tap, and you can see these are showing work orders. And you can already see a blue line there that is connecting the gray pins. So they're numbered 1. Here's a second one hidden behind the red one, and the third one right here. And these actually are coming from my calendar. So the My Route functionality and calendar in the application are fully connected. I can see that next to my third location, there's another pin there. So what I'll do, I can tap on it and I'll see it's another checkup. So maybe I'll be a little bit more ambitious and I'll tap on the little plus button and add this as an extra stop. So by that, I'm rolling out the tour plan at the bottom of the screen where I can see all these stops listed one under each other. You can see that we also shared the information about distance between the 2 stops and the approximate time needed to travel between them. what I can do, I can also optimize the route at the very bottom of the screen. So if I tap on the optimize route, the application will try to reorder the stops, and it's able to save me up to 14 minutes. I just get some exclamation mark because I'll need a little bit more time to travel between those. So I tap on those little exclamation marks, and the start times and end times are adjusted accordingly. So what I can do, I can hit the save button in the right upper corner, save this change. You can see those stops will be now number 1 and number 2. The blue line looks a little bit less complicated, and I can really get into my car now. If I'm driving and would like to use this as a navigation, I can do that as well. The little map button in the right upper corner helps me to switch this and send all these points to Google Maps. I just found out that somehow, because I'm indoors, my phone thinks that I'm in South Boston, where I'm actually here in Brookline. But as you can see, all those points are pushed into the Google Maps application. So I have the point A, point B, point C north of Boston, and point D in Cambridgeport, and then I'll drive back home to my current location. So this can be totally used when driving as a navigation. Let's assume I got to the first spot. I open my calendar and I see I can tap on the first CSA 33 checkup work order. I open it up, and on this screen, I have a list of all the details about this particular work order. I can decide to have all of these collapsed. So if I tap on work order, I can open it up to see more details. I see the customer that I can click on, completion, estimated duration. So some more information about work orders. I can see what products are related here. I can switch it to a nice chart right on the form. I can see there are some light bulbs needed up to 10, rope roller set, etc., or switch it back to alphanumeric view. So I have a good idea about what to do now. So let me actually run some inspections as part of the checkup. To do that, I'll tap on the little plus button next to the inspection section, and this is a good example of how we integrate the inspection product into the foundation of the Resco technology. So I tapped on the plus button, and here I have 4 different templates that my colleagues from the IT team prepared for me. When I arrive here, I first need to check for hazards. So I have the HazScan checklist, possible hazards checklist questionnaire, and I run that one first. But because I want to have both my hands available to do the job, I actually run that one on my smartwatch. So what I'll do now, I'll switch to, oops, just 1 second. I'll switch to my iPad to show you the smartwatch. Okay, perfect. Here we go. So what I'll do on the smartwatch, I'll just run the mobile application there and go through the HazScan checklist on my watch. So let's do that together. I start up the watch. I'll unlock it. Here's my password to all my credit cards, so hope you're not looking. Let me find the mobile CRM application in the menu. Okay, it's right here. And I get a message to open the questionnaire on my handheld device. So that's one step I did on my phone. Now I can put my phone into the pocket and go through the questionnaire. So the first question, any hazards? Yes, sir. Any risk of slip, trip, or fall? No, nothing like that. Any strain or overexertion? Yes. Any moving objects? No, not at all. Any harmful energy sources? I can look behind some objects, some furniture, and I didn't find anything. Any harmful substances? Luckily, nothing like that. And the last question, have I completed it? Yes, I did. So now I get the message that I can actually continue my work on my mobile phone. So all done, and I can now switch back to a mobile phone. And here's gonna be the proof that I have the questionnaire filled out on the watch, and here are all the answers. So all I have to do is just save it right here, and I can now move on to the next job. And that's gonna be, I'm gonna do the regular inspection as part of the checkup. So let's open the regular inspection questionnaire. And this one looks a little bit more complex. As you can see, it's not just simple yes, no. And we'll just go through it very quickly together. So first of all, you can see the inspection is going to be assigned to the work order. I'm the technician and the customer is defined right here. First, I need to identify the elevator that I'm going to be inspecting. I can do it by providing the serial number, the manufacturer, model, etc. Or what I can do, I can just scan a barcode or QR code on one of another 15 different codes that we support. All I have to do is just tap on the little barcode scanner there and scan this big barcode that I have here on my desk. Doing that provides information about the manufacturer and model, and just so that you can see the serial number is fully editable. So if I want to, I can type in the information as well. So just like that, I can now move on and go through all the sections or all the groups that are part of the regular inspection. So first I'm gonna focus on the cabin interior. I check the lights, control panel. Some elements are broken or there's some defect, so we can color code it very quickly. I now can focus on the cabin exterior. I check the left brake, I check the right brake. Oh, and I immediately see a defect. There seems to be something wrong with one spare part that is part of the right brake, and I actually need to fix it. As this is a brand new elevator, I'm not fully familiar with all the details, so I'll use Resco to help me identify the spare part. To do so, we'll use the AI image recognition. So all I have to do as a technician is just take a picture of that spare part. So I'll just tap on the little camera button right there in the middle of the screen. I choose the Add Spare Part configuration, and I'll take a picture of this spare part. Any guesses what this is? Is it a wheel? Is it something else? Let's see. I hit the use photo. The picture is being submitted, and underneath we get the results. So it's a brake pad. I can expand it. I can see that I have one particular brake pad as part of my spare parts. It's the Type 24WM. So problem solved. I was able to repair it with a brand new one and log it in as part of my work order. I'll check the wire ropes. Those look fine. Wire brackets, securing brackets, also fine. If there's a particular big issue that requires me to take a picture of it and document all the issues, I can do so as well. So let's do it quickly. I choose the option to capture the picture, but there's already the new option, the holographic scene, where you can actually add AR anchors that be floating in the air as you're scanning the room or the area. But let's just go with a simple picture. I'll take a picture of this elevator shaft that, as you can see, definitely has some issues. And what I can do as well, not just take a picture, but add some notes on top of it. And not only simple notes, but I can tap on the little plus button in the right bottom corner. And now using my finger, which you can't see, I apologize for that, I grab one of those red issues and I can place them on a specific place on the picture. So right here on the left-hand side, I now tap on that little red tag, and I can say this is regarding control panel. It's a high priority, and I can even add some description. Needs a checkup ASAP. Okay, and maybe we'll add one more tag. So I'll tap on the plus button again, grab the cabin issue with my finger, place it here on the other side, on top of the wire ropes. I tap on the little red tag. It rolls out this form again, and I can actually say this is regarding wire ropes, and it's a low priority, doesn't need any description. When I'm done, I hit the check mark in the right upper corner. So let's just finish this regular checkup now. The engine room, the engine looks okay. The central unit looks okay. The wiring looks okay. I could do that at every floor, check the doors, check the buttons, check the display, and I'm here at the very end. So as part of the inspections, we automatically can schedule the next one based on some rules that you have internally or based on the SLA from the customer. So as you can see, my next one is scheduled for January 23rd, 2021. And I can also capture the signature. So actually I approve that I went through this whole inspection, the regular inspection of the elevator, and I attach a signature. So everything looks good. I hit the save button, and what I can do now, I can create a report. So I'll tap on the three little dots in the right upper corner and choose the option to complete the inspection with the report. I hit yes, and one of the formats that we support is PDF. So we'll build a PDF report right on my mobile device. The big advantage of the mobile report is that this is all part of the mobile app and works in complete offline mode as well. And here's my PDF. Here are the pictures that we took and the signature at the bottom as well. If I tap on the three dots here again, I have a lot of actions that I can take when interacting with the report. I can copy it, print it, email it, or just simply save it. So just like that, I'm finished at location number 1, and I can now move on to location number 2. So a quick wrap up what we did. So using the one and the same application, I was able to check my plan and schedule for today. I was able to optimize my routes to make sure I'm not spending too much time driving, but so that I can rather focus on my work. I use it as a navigation. When I arrived at first spot, I read more details about the work order, checked all the additional information so I know what to do. I ran the HAZ scan on a smartwatch so that I can use both my hands when checking for hazard materials and substances. And then I ran a step-by-step kind of guideline to check all the corners, all the little details about the elevator. I was able to identify the elevator and a spare part by scanning pictures, scanning barcodes. I was able to identify some additional defects or issues that require some additional attention, and I attached a signature at the very bottom of the inspection. When I was done with that, I ran a mobile report right on my mobile device that I'm able to share either with my colleagues in the back office or even with the customer right at the spot. All of this can work in complete disconnected mode, so I'm not limited by where I am or when I'm doing the job, so no problems there, and I can hit the road and move on. So that sums up the demo. Some resources for those of you who are interested in exploring this in more detail. We have a fantastic course called Field Service 2.0 in our online Resco Academy. If you haven't looked at it yet, I really encourage you to spend 5 minutes just to check it out. It's academy.resco.net, where you can create your credentials, your account, can log in, and you'll find a lot of technical but also less technical content there. YouTube channel where you can find a lot of information, a lot of videos that go into more detail and explain how to set it up and set up the application, etc. And we're still hoping that we'll be able to run our annual conference called Resco.next at the end of the year, but we'll see. We're definitely planning some training session for the second half of this year in an online setup. We did that earlier this year. It was a great success. We divided the training event into 3 days, and combined we had more than 200 attendees, so there's definitely an interest there. So look out for some more information from us about the training options. So with that, that's a wrap, but let me check if there are any questions here. And if you have some questions, please feel free to share them in the GoToWebinar application. And we already have some questions there from Satish. I've seen the progressive web application out from Woodford on the Resco roadmap. And just to clarify, is this available right now? If not, when? Great question, Satish. I know this is already available for Resco Cloud, and I'll double check with my colleagues from the product team if this is available, if you want to use it with Dynamics as a backend system, and I'll definitely be in touch. We have another question from Jeremy regarding Resco's location tracking. Will you be able to send the field rep's location to customer, including ETA, technician's name, etc.? Fantastic question, Jeremy. The simple answer is yes. However, I want to make sure that this is clear and I'm not over-promising. It would, of course, require some further customization to make sure that we're grabbing the information and sending it. So some kind of a workflow that we would have to set up to send it to a customer, either via email or maybe through a portal, etc. But this is possible. So in our application, you can already set up the geofencing so that when technicians get to certain area, the certain things can happen, if you will. This is totally one of them. Another question from Michelle. Hopefully I pronounced the name correctly. If not, I apologize. Is it possible for an internal Dynamics 365 customer engagement user to modify, check the Resco inspection report before sending it to the customer? So the report can only be modified through the questionnaire. So once it's built, that PDF version, it cannot be modified unless you have certain version of program that allows you to modify the PDFs. But the other outcomes could be what we support is also Word documents, Excel documents, and HTTP files as well. So that can be an outcome. In that case, it can be easily set up in the report module in Resco. So if the outcome is Word, Word is a perfectly editable document, so no problems there. The question is, do you want to allow the users to modify the report after it's been built, because it's built on all the information coming from the inspection questionnaire, right? So hopefully it made sense what I said. So yes, it can be editable if you choose the outcome not to be PDF, but Word or Excel, for example. The question is, do you want your users to have that availability? Another question from Shailesh. Resco app for field service will be only for 2 years and then paid. Too hard to say, Shailesh, right now. What we know so far and what's official is that Microsoft plans to support it for another 2 years. So if your customers or you invest into that solution, it's going to be fully supported from Microsoft. And what I know from working from many years for Resco, we want to make sure that you can keep leveraging the power of Resco with your field service system. So we'll try our best to make sure that you can keep using the Resco based application in one way or another, so that you can squeeze the maximum benefits of Microsoft Dynamics 365 field service. A comment from David Bundler. David, hi, hope you're doing well. Thanks a lot, appreciate your words. Hope to catch up with you sometimes in person, hopefully, probably more like next year. Okay, seems like we're running towards the end of the webinar. I want to thank you very much for attending today's session. I hope it made some more sense about what the latest news are, what it means for Resco, what are some of the options. We keep working on new content to make sure that if you'll have more questions, and I'm sure you will, that you'll find some answers. We're putting some blog posts together with my colleagues, with Andrew, Lorraine, and some others as well. And we want to make sure that any of your questions get answered. If I haven't answered everything today, feel free to shoot me an email. It's easy. It's ivan@resco.net, ivan@resco.net, and I'll be more than happy to answer. And Satish, I keep thinking about that question, and I'll get back to you after the webinar. So with that, thank you very much. Wish you a really nice rest of your day, and hope you're staying safe.